discuss the lambda function, and I think, I don't know, filter I have discussed or not, but let's go once. So filter function is, name itself filter, right? So where the function argument is responsible to perform conditional and check the sequence can be listed of the tuple or a string. And here we can, this is your filter function, right? So lambda I have discussed, right? So here we are. So you can see I have mentioned one. This is your syntax of the filter function. So here we can pass the argument function and sequence. This is called argument, right? So where the function argument is, so what is the meaning of this function argument? I have mentioned here. To perform condition and check the sequence can be listed of tuple or a string. Okay. So write a program to filter only even number from the list by using filter function. So how to use this? So here in this example I am not using lambda function. Without lambda function I am going to perform this. So whatever the discuss in the last session, we are using all the concept, that's it. So this is your function def keyword. What is the def keyword? So by using this def keyword we are creating a function. So function name is just I took given, so you can take any function name. It depend upon coding a standard, right? So I have passed the argument x. Now I am performing the operation of even number. So even number, if x modulo equal to 0, then I have written true. If what the condition will false, then it will return the false. So where you are reading from the, where you are taking from the value, I am taking from the value from the list. Inside list I have a store some value integer type, and I am going to apply here filter of even number. So L is a variable. Inside this L variable I am going to store this list. Inside this list again we have, again I took one L1 variable. So inside this L1 variable you can see I have used this list function inside this filter function. So filter function, you can see where it is, this filter function. So we are passing two arguments here, function and sequence. So same thing I applied with here. So function, I pass this function. Where is your function? This is my function, and I pass the sequence. Sequence means this is the list of sequence. Okay, so how to find even number by using the filter function without lambda. Okay, so this is your how to use this filter function. So we are getting only even number. So this is without lambda. I think we have also example of with lambda operation. So if actually why we are using this function, right? We can also write even an odd number. We have already seen in the last session, right? We can like simply you can write, we will take one function name, then we will put the if else condition, then we will simply call this function and that will print this function. But why this is the use of filter function, lambda function? Because you can see if you will write a simple way of this, it is taking more coding, right? But if you will use the lambda function and filter function, so it will decreasing the coding syntax. So one more function is that it is called reduce function. So we'll see all this function. Okay, so by using the lambda function, how to perform this? So let's see this example of this lambda function. Okay, so before I did not use lambda function, but here we are using lambda function with filter function. So simply I took one list. Inside this list we have used lambda function. So how to perform the lambda? So last session we have discussed this. you can see in this side only expression is there. So what the operation you are going to perform this? So I want to going to perform even odd. Okay, so here I have written the logic of even. Now we are passing this variable and we are using this function. So here I have used this filter function. So if I will print this L1, then we will get only even number, and I perform one more operation, x modulo not equal to 0, then what happen? We will get odd number. So you can see how we are using this all the function, all the inbuilt function in the Python. So this is the beauty of Python. We have a huge library inside this function. Not even the thing is that why the Python is going to popular day by day, because of Python having a huge library. You can use Python in any profile: web development, testing, DevOps, and what else, machine learning, data science. Anywhere you can use, because we have a huge library. Python and core Python and advanced Python, like concept, what is the function, how to use the function, but these guys are already given the API, like inbuilt function, lambda function. So in every field you can use the Python. Okay, everything is available. So this is the one thing. So if I will run this code, so we are getting this even number and odd number output. So how to use lambda function, filter function with lambda function? We have another function called map function. So why we are using this map function? So for every element present in the given sequence, apply some functionality and generate a new element with the required modification. Okay, what happened? We have a one function, and again I did some modifications in that function. So for this requirement we should go for map function. I have a one code. Inside this code, apply some functionality and generate a new element with the required modification. So existing application is there, existing code is there. I want to do some modification, I want to add some functionality. For that requirement we should go for map function. For every element present in the list, perform the double and generate a new list of the double. So let's see what is the this is the theory, then we'll go through this. So this is the syntax of map function. Again we can pass this function and sequence. So last the same like filter function, but we have a different features of map function. The function can be applied on each element of sequence and generate a new sequence. So map function with your, first we have map function without lambda, and simple how to use map function, then we will use with lambda function also with map function. So now this is your one list is there, 1 2 3 4 5, and what we are going to do, this is your what function. Inside this function we are performing this I want to multiply 2 for each element which is present inside this list. Actually what happened, so we have a lambda function, we have a filter function, right? We have a map function. So they can ask, hey, can you write the code using the map function, and what is the extra features of the map function? What is the difference between lambda function and this type of the question they can ask in the interview. But only practice is make perfect, that's it. So map function, again we are passing this function and we are passing this list, that's it. So what we are going to perform, we are multiplying this 2 for each element. So I did not use here lambda, I use only map function. So how to use with the lambda with the map function? So you can see when you are using this lambda function, your code is going to, line of the code is going to reduce. Here we have this line of the code, but here only this line of the code we are performing this. Why? Because this operation I am going to perform inside this one line. Okay, so someone will tell what, write the code in the one line to perform even an odd number, yeah, anything, then you have to think we have to use lambda function. Okay, so with lambda means it is reducing the code. That's it. Actually this is your simple example, we are telling the concept, but in the real time example, why they are using this, we have a big application and some enhancement is there. Okay, so they are adding some code and all, so like that they are using at that, because in the India 90% projects are already existed. Only what they are doing some enhancement and changes. We have to work on this. That's it. You have to not develop from the scratch. So scratch, if you are getting the scratch project, so mostly the product based company or startup company, but the startup company is too difficult to survive. So better we have a knowledge, like if you have a code then we can understand the code. That's it. So how to use this map function with lambda, so that thing I have mentioned. So lambda means your expression, means what we are going to do, we are going to multiply with the 2 of each element. That's it. So if I run this, so we are getting all this output. Okay, so this is your again one more thing is that find the square of this. So how to perform this square, so same thing. Okay, so map, this is your map function with lambda function. Okay, so how to perform this, so you can get a lot of the example in the internet, so you can enhance your knowledge. This is your basics. Okay, so if I will run this, so same, just we are going to a square of all this. Before we are doing the multiplication with 2, now I'm going to do a square. So lambda function, whatever the expression you are writing here, we are writing in this side, and we are passing this what, sequence is what, list, anything like list, set, right, is there, and here simply lambda function and with variable. Okay, so this is your lambda function with find the square of this. Okay, so we can apply map function on the multiple list also, but make sure all the lists should have the same length. So we have a list 1 and list 2, so we can also perform with map function, but we should know, we should have a same list length, then we can perform. So this is your syntax of, if you have a two list, then how to perform this map. So we have a lambda function x y, and we have a list 1 and a list 2. X is from list 1 and y is the list 2. Okay, so we have a 2. So how to perform this? But it should have same length of the list. Okay, it should have same length of the list 1 and list 2. So same thing we are going to perform here, but you can see in the lambda function, if you have an operation, then you have to what is here, what is the changing there. We have a 2 list, then we are passing 2 variable x y. You can see what we are doing, just going to multiply this, and we have a 2 list, but you can see the syntax of the operation is same, it's not changing, right? Whatever the operation is there, we have to perform inside the task. So if I will perform, if I will execute this, so you can see we are getting this on output. Okay, so this is your map function. So another function is called reduce function. Name itself reduce, it will reduce the length of the code. That's it. Okay, so reduce function reduce sequence of element into a single element by applying the specified function. Okay, so itself reduce itself, function reduce a sequence of element in a single element by applying the specified function. So reduce function, you can see argument is same, every function having the same argument, function and sequence. So reduce function present in the function tools modules. Okay, what is the meaning of the models? Coming chapter I will discuss. Okay, package, in the Java we have a package, right? Inside this package we have a method, we have a class, we have a interface, right? So like that in the Python we have a models. So inside this models we have a func tools. so you have to import this. So that's why I have mentioned here, because this reduce function is available inside this functools modules. Okay, so reduce function present in the function tools model, and hence we should write import statement. Okay, so how to import this? So by using this import keyword we can import the modules. So here you can learn one more thing, this tools function and how to import this. So this is your module's name, and I am going to import by using from keyword and your import keyword. So just I am going to use this. So just we are using this reduce function by using what? So we are adding 2x and by, right? So let's see what to do now. So here just we are adding all this list which is present inside this. What is, how we are using this? It is reducing the thing, means if I will think in the expression wise, logic wise, where you will use the reduce function, right? So it is reducing the thing. Reducing means you can say line of the code we are performing the same, right? Not increase, but we have a different features of the every function. So we have a list, and I am going to what? Adding this. So it is going to reduce. Okay, so this is your reduce function. So we can also perform some another operation. So same thing, just for your practice purpose I have given another example. But if you are not importing this, let's see what we have. I'm not going to import this. If you will run this, then we are getting error. Why we are getting error? Because this reduce function is not available. Okay, reduce is not defined. Why it is not defined? Because this is present in the functools. Okay, so functools is a models, so you have to import. In Java already we have seen, right? We have a, like, you have to import some classes or interface, then we have to perform this, right? Import, we have to import this. So same thing happened with Python also, right? So we are going to do multiplication. Just for your practice purpose I have given this example, that's it, because the concept is same, that's it. So this is your reduce function, how this reduce function is working. So here we can also use, we are adding this value, all the value 1 to 101. So we have already discussed range function, right? 1 to 101 in the -1, a start in the -1. Okay, so we will, if I will go for 1 200, right, a start in the -1. So if I am going to add all the values, so how this, if you have any operation, if simple line of the code become, we are able to perform this operation. This is Python. Okay, so here why we are using this? Because of some this type of the logic have in your real time. So that's why we will use this. Okay, reduce function. Why its name itself reduce? Because what we are doing, we have a 1 to 100 value, just we are adding this value. So value will come only, output will come. It is, if you will think logically, then it should like reducing the thing. Okay, so if you will run this, we will get all the addition of 1 to 100, that's it. Okay, so in Python everything is object. We had in the first session we had discussed, in the Python everything is an object. If you are writing anything, everything is an object. Okay, so even function is also internally treated as a object only. When you are writing the function, so function itself also object. When we are writing, so function f1 and how we can say this is the object. So we can say I took one function f1, just we are going to print, and I'm also printing this f1, and I'm finding the id of this, because the object is what, if you will generate one object, one hash code is generated. This is here, hash code is nothing but id. So if I will run this, so you can see we will get id number also. Okay, so while starting we had discussed this. If you will simply print the function, you can see some bytecode number is also generating, but this is also id. So anything if you writing inside this function, everything is an object. So object means name itself should go in this. If you learn the Java, then should go to what is the meaning of the object. So if you know the Java, then Python is easy to understand, because the syntax is only going to change. If I already taught you a lot of the topic inside this Python. You can see only syntax is going to change. And Python also have a OP concept. So you can see concept almost the same, but syntax is going to change. So if I will think what is the meaning of object, then you have to go through inside this object oriented programming language. We will see I think I have mentioned the type. Okay, let's see it is possible. So all are the inbuilt function, this type, id. So we had already discussed this. Okay, when you thinking the object, you can see why I have given this type. When I'm going to print the type, you can see this class keyword is coming, class function. Object means class. Okay, so when you are writing in the Java, class, object name, anything like bank or anything, net banking, or you are developing any application, whatever is e-commerce application, if you are writing class this, then what happen, we have to think regarding this real world object we are going to convert into the programming world. So what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of programming? Why we are learning this software? What is the need of the software? Software means programming. Programming means automation, right? So how you can see before 10 years ago or 15 years ago, you can old time, we don't have a net banking and digital stuff, right? So it's too difficult. You have to go the bank and you have to deposit and withdraw. It's too difficult. Now all the thing is going to automated. Automation means programming. That's it. Means everything is going to automate. In the coming future, everything we will get automate. So here you can understand what is the meaning of class. Class means object. Object means if you are writing class with object, we are converting real world object inside this programming world. Okay, so in the Python, everything is an object. So this point I have mentioned here. Okay, internally treated as a object. So object, I have already shown you the type also. We have another concept, function aliasing. So what is the meaning of this? We have given some we can understand in the simple language, nickname, right? The people having some nickname. So same thing, this is the aliasing. Okay, so for existing function we can give the another name, which is nothing but function aliasing. That's it. Okay, so how to understand in the code? So this is your code. What is the meaning of function aliasing? Okay, so we have a function called base. So inside this we have printed good morning name. Inside this you can see I took one greeting and I have stored inside this vis. So what we have to think, I'm printing all the ID of this function and greeting function. Okay, and this is your function call. Okay, so we have given this aliasing name of this to greetings. Okay, so how to know that, right? So that's why I'm printing this ID. Okay, so we will get it like this is the same function or different function. Okay, so the aliasing means like the nickname. Okay, that's it, if you will understand in the simple language. So you can see both functions are same. How it is same? Because you can see ID is also same. Okay, so you can give the another name also, and you can use this function. Okay, so that is called aliasing. So what is this function? I have given the another name is greetings. So how to understand this? Because we are getting the same ID here, so means both having the same function but a different name. Okay, so I will give you the another example so it will get more clear. Okay, so in the above example only one function is available, but we can call that function by using either vis name or greeting names. So we have only one function, but I have given the two names. You can call by using the vis function and you can call by using the greeting names. Okay, so same thing I am doing here. I call by the greetings, I call by the vis. You can see I have created only vis function, but here I have given the aliasing name is greetings, but function name is same. How it is same? Because of ID is coming same, but we can call by using this greetings and vis. So this will clear. I will give you the another example also. So same point I have written here. If we delete one name, still we can access that function by using the alias name. Okay, so we have a two name. If we will delete one, then I'll also use another name also. So we have this function here. Okay, I think this is together all this code. So what I'm going to do, just I will delete one name. So if you will delete one name, then what will happen? Here we have this this function, and here I am going to delete this function. Now I am going to delete this function. Del is a keyword. By using this del keyword you can delete. So last session I already discussed this del keyword. So if I will execute this, okay, and what happened? This vis will delete. Okay, I'm calling by using the greetings. Okay, so if I will delete this, then we are able to call by using the greetings. Okay, you can see I'm getting the output, this. So now if I want to, why it is coming output like that? Because I called 3 times this one, right? So now I want to delete this. If you will call this function, I deleted, this function is deleted. Now I am going to call this, then what happened? If I will call this function, then you can see the interpreter will not able to find this. Then interpreter is telling this is the name error. Name is not defined. Name this is not defined. Why? Because you have deleted this. But if you will delete one name, then you can use another name also. Okay, so this is your how to use aliasing inside this function. So we have a next topic is called nested function. Nested function means function inside this function, that is called nested function. So we can declare a function inside the another function. Such type of function are called nested function. Okay, so how to perform this nested function? So first, what is the nested function? The function inside this another function is called nested function. But your question is how to call this function. So let's see. We have a one function is called out fun. Okay, so this function I have generated, I told you, if you, this is your double colon, I have here a space is there, means we are inside this block. Okay, if you are not, if you are, we have inside this a space, so we have inside this function. So inside this function I have created another function also, that is called inner function. Okay, so in the inside this inner function I am calling inner function. Okay, so I will again repeat, we have a we are learning the nested function. What is the meaning of nested function? The function created inside the another function, that is called nested function. So how to create a nested function? So we have a one function, outer function. Inside this function, just I have printed some outer whatever. So inside this function, inside this block of the function, I have created another function also, that is called inner function. One more thing, how to call this function? So inner function you have to call inside this block only. An outer function I am going to call outer this block, this outer block. How we are going to understand outer and outer block? You can say we have a space, right? This is called indentation. So indentation means we are inside this block. This is your function block. So inside this function block we have created another block, that is another function, that is called inner function. You can see inside this block only we call this inner function. Okay, then after that I called outer function. So if I will execute this, so outer function started, outer function calling inner function and whatever. But if you will call outside the function, if you will call outside the function, okay, if I am going to call this outside the function, inner function, then what happens? We will get error. Okay, so it is not possible. Inner function you have to call inner inside this outer function block. Okay, you cannot call outer function block. Okay, inside this outer function. Okay, so if I will execute this, so we are getting again this error. Why we are getting this error? Because again same name error, inner function is not defined. Why it is not defined? Because this a scope of inner function inside this outer function block. If you will call inside this, then what happen? Interpreter will not able to find this inner function. So that's why we are if you want to call this inner function, you have to call inside this. Okay, so this is your nested. So just I have mentioned here in the above example, inner function is local to outer function, hence it is not possible to call directly from the outside the function of outer function. Okay, so now I am going to stop your session here. So slowly do the practice if you are getting the time. Okay.